start with a little intro. Carmichael Johansson, you.
Johansson to you, you deadbeat son of a bitch.
Johansson.
No, it,
Johansson?
Johansson.
Carmichael.
There's no A, it's an E.
Do you mind if I call you Carmichael?
You just call me, you just call me Carmichael.
So artifacts. I mean, tell me about this. I mean, what do you consider an artifact, and what does the sport of metal detecting mean to you?
Well, I mean, you know, I like to think of it as, you know, just finding your aspirations buried alive, you know, out there. And I don't know, I'll be dipped in shit. There's amazing stuff that you can find in there, backyards and all sorts of places. I kind of find metals and you know, coffee cans all the time.
When you say metals, do you mean, are you speaking of metal or actual metals?
I'm just talking, you know, like, you know, all sorts of metals, you know, things that the metal detector finds. You know, I found so much stuff in my day, it's hard to even categorize.
Fascinating.
You know, like the shreds, scraps. One time I came up on a giant berm, and I thought, you know, to myself, I just keep on digging up shit on this berm, and it turned out to be a landfill.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's the trials of the life we chose, huh?
I had to lease an excavator to figure that out.
Has your star status affected the amount of time you actually get to spend in the field doing research? I mean, you know, you're attending trade shows a lot. I assume there's a lot of women.
Yeah.
How has the fame taken over your metal detector?
Well, you know, my metal detector, my Garrett metal detector, it's not the only thing that goes beep. You know, when I'm at these conventions, I'm waving my dick around left and right, and I'm shooting it, you know, like a regular old sperm gun. I have to take a needle about halfway through a show, and I have to inject sperm into the back of my ball sack just to keep firing it off on these little beepers that come around. I call them little beepers.
And these antics have earned you the name, the bad boy of metal detecting, which I think is a lot.
Damn right.
Has a lot to do with your fame. But let's get back to the essence of it. I mean, beyond your crude behavior at trade shows and whatnot, what's the big find? I mean, what has earned you your seat in the spotlight?
Well, yeah, it's hard to say. I think it's my consistency, you know, and everybody loves a story of redemption, you know, because I lost heart in 1985 when I came up with a Maxwell House coffee can from circa 1929, and someone said, you know, it's rusted to shit, it ain't no good.
Rusty gold.
And I ripped it in half, and I cut a laceration on his arms, and I threw him down in the gutter, and I was like, how dare you just cast judgment all over me? And I had to walk away from the field, and that's when I started to go back to family. I started to spend time. I got deep in it, and you know, I started playing with my little shit fucking grandkids. You know, they're little whippersnapper snake shit fucking faggots. And I was playing Super Mario Brothers 2, and I noticed how they never chose to play with Toad. And Toad was the fastest digger. He could get away from those shy guys in level 2 like nobody's fucking business. And I was like, and that kind of brought me back in the game. I got some inspiration from Toad. So everyone was playing Luigi because he could jump far. And I was like, Luigi's just a retard in a green hat. What brought me back was the heart necklace. You know, and around that time that, you know, I had to hurt that gentleman over the coffee can, I'd found this half a heart necklace, and you know those heart necklaces that you break in half, you know, and you give that one to your best friend.
Yes, I was familiar. A lot of people at my school exchange those with girls. I was never, unfortunately, part of that, but I'm aware of them. Yes.
I mean, this goes back into a longer story, you know, of my romantic life and my lone wolf story that reigns over me like an airbrush T-shirt. Uh, Thing is the heart necklace. You know, I'd found this other piece, and I'd given that other one to Eleanor Garrett, who's, you know, the founder of the whole metal detecting, you know, ingenious findings. You know, her husband Garrett went on, you know, to create these things, even though he's a devious son of a bitch. But we were at a Grange dance in 1962, and I was waving my metal detector, you know, before there even was one. I was waving in and around her face in the back of this old car, you know. This is before blowjobs were just regular business. Anyway, so long and short is, Garrett swooped in later on in 1964 when he got his patent process through with a metal detector, and he just took her away, and she still had half of my heart, and she had half that heart necklace, and I threw mine away, you know, and later I ended up detecting it, and I found it, and then I found another one that met that piece, you know, and I think she threw it away as well. She had to throw away part of her heart because she had to bear that love away. Anyway, but
do you find it ironic that you had to lose one true love in order to gain another? When Garrett submitted that patent, it essentially presented you with your other true love in life, and you know, love
yeah,
lost
and it's
and love
ironic
gained.
that man gave me the instrument that would give me the passion to be like a bad boy of radiology or whatever runs this machine here. I don't even know.
Yeah, yeah. Top 10 best places to metal detect in the world.
Wichita, Kansas. Mine, North Dakota. Newmarket, Minnesota. It's a great place there.
I actually spent summer there last year.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh shit. I like the Finger Lakes just because I like the sound of it. And I like to go out to man, what's that? 5? I don't know. A backyard. It's got to be somewhere. You know, I like to go. I like Washington State. You know, that's some strange turf up there. I like Leavenworth. These German beer pubs. Kind of get crazy up in there. Had to fucking smash a fucking glass mug over some fool's face. Rearrange them. I saw him in court later on. I had to fucking beat him with my metal detector right in court. They had to chain me up for 11 days in that fucking state.
So you're an old hand in the game. What do you see as the future of
I
metal
don't know if
detecting?
I like the cut of your jib.
Pardon me?
You talking? You just trying to dribble some newfangled shit all over my ice cream sundae today? Hold on, what was your question? Scott right there.
Sorry. Where do you see the future of metal detecting?
Oh, I think it's, you know, it's got to go intergalactic, and we got to get some spaceships involved. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever seen Fly the Navigator, but like that's kind of where I'm going with it. Thinking like, I think about just like archaic, like needle-like ships flying through outer space, and you know, landing on planets, waving our dicks around, finding gold, bringing it back, building palaces out of amazing new metals and weird shit. I think that's the dream. I want a Chevette made out of iron and from like Jupiter or somewhere. I don't know. I think it could get crazy out there. I think that's where we got to go. I think that the next exploration, it's just metal detecting in outer space, making a big, weaving wand. I also like that movie Spaceballs. That movie Spaceballs is awesome. Have you seen? You had the giant vacuum cleaner that sucks the atmosphere out of that. Like that's the kind of size metal detector that I want. Is that huge Spaceballs like vacuum cleaner size? Like that's how we're going to do planets.
That's very ambitious.
I think so. I think so.
What's your favorite metal?
Iron ore.
Favorite bottle cap?
Dad's old-fashioned root beer.
Square nails or round nails?
We're talking about fingernails?
Nails from old structures.
Oh. You hit me there. I guess the square ones.
If you dig a horseshoe
because they're a little unorthodox.
If you dig a horseshoe up and it's facing downward, do you leave it or do you take it with you? Do you feel they're unlucky?
Oh, I think they're all lucky, no matter which way you find them. I guess it depends on how you play horseshoes.
So I assume you've heard of the Heising Wilson expedition coming up, and
those nuance faggots.
Yeah, I'm very curious to find to
bring
hear your thoughts
some renaissance to the sport.
Well, just to hear your thoughts.
You gotta get down on the grit. It's not just about pretty photos.
Do you feel they'll be successful in their hunt? They seem very.
Well, I think anyone.
Very well funded.
If they find the passion, they go out there and they look for it, and they go to those good places, they go to those dark places, and themselves too. I mean, you got to go to the dark places. That's where I am. I'm like an espionage wolf on fire. Just tearing down the onslaught.
Now, before we close our interview, I'd like to briefly touch upon the subject of your very public announcement of being abducted by aliens. And this was something that hit the scene really hard and made quite a bit of noise. And earlier in the interview, you spoke of going to space to metal detect. Does this alleged alien abduction have anything to do with your dreams to metal detect in space?
I don't recall that.
No.
No, I don't think I do. No. I was huffing a lot in the early 90s. Just hanging out with my grandkids, and I think I had a lot of wild ideas at that point. I went through a case and a half of Glade in the afternoon. That's where the debt comes in. You get into huffing, you get into CO2s. You're getting the laughs. Before you know it, you're ripping down all the banisters in your house. You're fucking falling down.